Today we are going to discuss about the classification of system. So here first we should know what is meant by system. So system is nothing but a process in which it produces the output signal in response to an input signal. Corresponding to the input signal, it produces the output. Okay, so that is the system. So we have so many classification of system. First one, static and dynamic system. Second one, causal and non-causal system. Third one, linear and non-linear system. Fourth one, time variant and time invariant system. Last one, stable and unstable system. Okay. So here first we are going to discuss about static system. So static system means a discrete time system is called static if its output at any time depends on the input samples at the same time. That means the output depends on the input samples at the same time. That means here y of n equal to a into x of n. And one more example, y of n equal to a into x square of n. So here y of n, so is the nth period. So always the y of n means is nothing but the output. X of n is the input. So the y of n, so the output depends on x of n. So here output also nth period, so the input also nth period. So the system is called static because its output depends on the input sample at the same time. Okay, so we are calling this a static system. Next one, dynamic system. So dynamic system means if its output depends on the past and future samples of input. So in dynamic system, the output depends on the past and future samples of input. So here y of n is the output and x of n minus 3. So here this is a nth period. Here n minus 3. So this is the past sample as compared to n, and here n minus 2. So this is also past samples of input, and here y of n. So this first function, so the output depends on the past samples of input. So we are calling this is a dynamic system. Here y of n equal to x of n plus 2 plus x of n. So this output sequence, this is a input, and here n plus 2. So this is a future input. So y of n is the output and x of n is the present input and x of n plus 2 is the future input. So this second function depends on the present and future input. So we are calling this is a dynamic system. So static system means at any instant of time the system depends on the present input. That is the static. Dynamic system means the output depends on the past and future samples of input. Next one, causal system. So causal system means a system is said to be causal if output depend only on present and past input. So the output of the output depend on the present and past input. Here these are the examples of the causal system. Y of n equal to x of n plus x of n minus 2. Here y of n is the output, x of n. So this is the present input, and x of n minus 2. N minus 2 is the past input. So this output depends on present and past input. So we are calling this a causal system. And second function also depends on past and present input. So we are calling this a causal system. So these are the examples of causal system. Next one, non-causal system. So non-causal system means the output depend on future input. So a system is said to be non-causal means if its output depend on future input. So y of n equal to x of n plus 2 plus x of n plus 2. So these are the future input. All are future input. So the system will be a non-causal system. Next, here we have the problems on static and dynamic system. So here first problem, y of n equal to x of n into x of n minus 4. So first problem, so this is a present input and this is a past input. So first one is a dynamic system, right? Next second, y of n equal to x of n plus x square of n. So here the output depends on the present input. So we are calling this is a static system. Next one, problems on causal and non-causal system. So check the following systems are causal and non-causal. So first problem, y of n equal to x of n plus x of n minus 3. So in this problem, the output depends on the present and past input. So x of n is the present input and x of n minus 3 is the past input. So we are calling this is a causal system. Here y of n equal to x of n square. X of y of n and x of n square. So x of n square is the future input. So second one is the non-causal system. Okay. So next one, time variant and time invariant system. That means a system is said to be time invariant if the characteristics of the system do not change with time. So the system is said to be time invariant means if the characteristics of the system do not change with time. So the system is said to be time variant means if the characteristics of the system changes with respect to time. Okay. So here problems on time variant and time invariant system. Here check whether the following systems are time variant and time invariant system. So first one, y of n equal to x of 1 by 2n. So now here first we are delaying the input by k samples. For determining the system to be time variant or time invariant, first we are delaying the input by some k samples. Input delayed by k samples. So y of n comma k equal to 1 by 2n minus k. So input, so this is a input, this input delayed by k sample, so minus k. So 1 minus 2nk divided by 2n. So this is equation number 1. Again output delayed by k samples. So here this is a output. So now instead of n we are writing n minus k because the output delayed by k samples. N minus k equal to 1 divided by 2 into instead of n minus k. 1 by 2n minus 2k. So this is equation number 2. Here equation 1 and equation 2 are not equal. So this is a time variant system. And linear system and non-linear system. So linear system means if the system satisfies the superposition principle, the system is a linear system. If the system does not satisfy the superposition principle, we are calling this is a non-linear system. Okay. So next you should know the principle of superposition requires that means the response of a system to a weighted sum of signals is equal to the corresponding weighted sum of the responses of the system. to each of the individual input signals. That means the response of the system to a weighted sum of signals equal to the response of the individual input signals. So that is the superposition principle. So next one, stable and unstable system. So stable system means an arbitrary relaxed system is said to be bounded input, bounded output, stable. If the input for all the bounded input it produces bounded output means that is stable. Otherwise we are calling this is a unstable system. Okay, thank you.